Hello everyone, this is Psy Comedy. Now, you're wondering who I am, and maybe you've seen my other videos. I have another channel. I go by Psy Chronicle, where I do gaming videos. But this isn't that. This channel is strictly for forbidden topics, like sex, religion, politics, Obama. Well, it's politics, but Obama's is more of a joke. But anyways, that being said, welcome to this channel. I do all the forbidden things I won't do on the other channel because I don't want to lose the subscribers. Or well, not really subscribers, they're just not meant to mix with each other. I mean, come on, video games and politics and religion and sex and Obama? Or maybe Obama with video games. Maybe, I think there was a video where he's buying Wii games for them from, like, some store. Yeah. Anyways, this is my first video on this channel, and thank you for watching. Well, already, if you're already going to exit out, thanks for watching. But here's the actual content of the video. Right over here, just give me some. Oh. Man, that's good water. So, today is going to be my little series in the defense of comedy. Now, this is my part 1. And why am I doing this video? Well, I've been kind of wanting to do something like this for a while. However, kind of really didn't have the motivation to. But after a post on my Facebook, which I really don't take Facebook seriously, but sometimes it gets me riled up in the mood to do things. Not killing people or anything, I would never do that. Unless I'm put into a position to, then I might. But I just totally came off as a serial killer right there. That is amazing. But it's sometimes supposed to be in the mood to do things. Write, read, etc. Now, in defense of comedy, this part is going to be about offensive humor. Now, what is offensive? Offensive, in my personal opinion, I think, in the context of humor, not the actual word offensive, I know what that means. In the context of humor, it means putting someone in an uncomfortable position, sort of violating who they are, right? Because, gosh forbid, if we violate who you are, the world might end because the world is you, and everything revolves around you. And so you shouldn't be offended, ever. Ever be offended. You should never be told anything demeaning in your life, because that totally makes you a better person. So I'll tell you right now the context, of how this came up, simply for the fact that it'll help you better understand what I'm talking about here. So sometimes I post stupid things on Facebook. I don't really take it seriously at all. If I find something funny, I'll post it. If I wrote something that I found funny, I'll post it. I have a lot of things I've written that I will never post. But in this case, it was about posing with trees. By posing, I mean not posing to be a tree. That would be kind of weird. That'd be kind of cool. You're trying to be an ant. But I mean posing with trees, as in, posing with a tree in a photograph because you think that makes you look cool or something. It's kind of like the duck face of photography. It's not really photography because just because you have a camera doesn't mean you're a photographer. I totally butchered that word. Now, I simply said, I'm constantly seeing people posting in their photos with trees, with their hands thrown up or around it. Makes sense, because I've seen that. I see it every day in my feed. Seriously. Let me point out that tree molestation does not make you look hot. In fact, contrary to your objective, it makes you look bad. And not bad as in damn Holmes. I'm horrible at saying that word. I can say Sherlock Holmes because that sounds right to me. But if I say Holmes by itself, it sounds weird. I don't know why. That looks bad. I mean, bad as in, man, hitting babies is bad. I mean, because that's pretty bad. You shouldn't hit your baby. Seriously, I'm not. You really shouldn't. So, please stop posting at or around trees, unless, of course, you're a lumberjack. Then go ahead and pose by a tree, which would make sense because that's your profession. You cut trees down. Take a picture with a tree while you're cutting it down, or you already cut it down or something. I don't know. Maybe you're on a tree while it's being cut down, and your buddy's like, hey, I'm taking a picture. It's like, no, don't do that because I might drop this on you or something. I don't know. So, that being said, that was that. Not really offensive. Seriously, really not offensive. So, obviously, people have the ability to like and comment. By all means, I don't care. Go ahead. A lot of people don't care. Go ahead. We like to hear dissenting opinions. We like to hear opinions that agree with us. Most people found it funny. I found it funny. That's why I posted it. But, a few people did it, and I respected that. right? Just like you're supposed to respect my form of humor without being a total asshole. Okay? Now, that being said, we had a couple folks post some things saying, well, I found that petty and demeaning. Whoop-de-fucking-do. That's great. That's fantastic you did. That is, wow. Woo! You are offended. And I should care? I mean, seriously. People don't get that. You don't really care that you're offended. I mean, seriously. It's something like that. I mean, it feels like religion. Or like a Christian says to a Muslim, you're going to hell, you Islamic, blah, you terrorist bastard. Well, then you should probably get offended, and you probably shouldn't say that because that's being a bigoted dick, like Rush Limbaugh. God, that guy's such a dick. So, don't be Rush Limbaugh. Seriously. Being offensive isn't like that. We're not being bigoted. When I post these things, or say, for example, comedians and other things, like say Louis C.K., right? George Carlin, okay? These folks, they're not trying to be offensive, like, ha ha. They're not trying to be trolls on that sense. A lot of these people, I mean, these forms of offensive really isn't out of bigotry or out of hatred. It's simply out of the fact that they see a truth, or they see their opinion and happens to coincide with, in their form of reality, they, instead of just being all blunt and being a total dick about it, right, they want to relate that with humor. Now, the thing with humor that a lot of people just don't get is that humor just isn't about making you feel good. Humor can also be used as a way of improvement, or a way of acknowledgement of things, a way of accepting things. For example, when Carlin was saying, fucking the government is fucking you, and, religion's fucking you, and everyone's fucking you, you're being fucked, right? They're not doing it. He wasn't doing it to just be a total dick. He was doing it because out of humor was the way to get his message across. It was a way to make people acknowledge and sort of enlighten them that, oh my goodness, they've been screwing us for this long. It took this guy to really educate sort of the younger crowd who really weren't into the books and shit, okay? I've literally heard someone refer to education as books and shit. I'm not joking. I wish I could screenshot it or videotape it, but that was a couple years ago, and I didn't really, I had this camera, but I didn't have it on me at the time. Anyways, seriously, that's the whole point of humor, is to help acknowledge things, is to help you get that little laugh inside, you get that little itch inside you. You wanna express it, but you don't know how, so you laugh. That's the way to express. It's the natural way of expressing things. But that can be used to educate, to enlighten, to bring forth a point or an opinion. In my case, I had my opinion, my point, and I want to express that. Instead of just saying, oh, these people are fucking dumb shits, they suck dick. Like, I didn't want to say that, because one, that's offensive in the bad way, and that's kind of being a bigot. So I decided to write it in a way that's funny. Albeit it's a different kind of funny, but it was funny nonetheless. Funny is an opinion, but it doesn't mean that you should bash it. It's amazing to me how people don't bash musicians and artists with all their little elitist faggotry. But you know what? They bash humor. It's amazing. They don't bash the artists and musicians because well, that's an art form. You can't bash an art form. What are you? Uneducated? Are you being repressive? They hide behind that, but those same people bash on humor. That amazes me. How, in a way, that's stupid. Why they would do that. Why they would bash something like humor, which is natural. It's always been inside. Before there were, instruments, there was humor. I'm not talking about the vocal cord, singing. Of course, that's a natural instrument. We do that. But humor's always been around. Laughing has always been around. That little guilty thing inside you has always been around. And true comedy, in my opinion, exposes that. It exposes that little guilty laugh. When you hear that one joke, and say if you go to a comedy club when you're on a date, I don't know why you're going to a comedy club on your date. That's probably not a good idea, unless you've been dating for a while, of course. Anyways, it's kind of that little joke that you don't want to laugh at because you're not sure if your date's going to judge you, or if other people are going to judge you, even though you're sitting by yourself. Right? Things online. things, whatever. You're watching a YouTube video. I see people, they're offended. They say they're offended, and they downrate the video, and then they spam, this guy's a dick. Fuck that guy. Right? It's amazing to me why they would do that. Just what goes in their head that makes them think that they can bash on humor. Humor is something that's inside of all of us. We all laugh at something, and there's no reason to bash it in any way, no matter how demeaning, how petty, how low-blowing. Someone out there finds it funny. Okay? Someone out there finds it funny. Now, there are different pedigrees of funny. Okay? There are different methods of being funny. But humor has always evolved. It's always, through the ages, it's always evolved. There are always the pencil pushers, the pen pushers, whatever the fuck you want to call it. There's always the people that push humor forward. They don't want to keep it there. That little, like, that late night television humor that just makes you feel safe. They want to push you, and they want to push that little comfort zone. And that's what I want to do, right? That's what many other comedians or whatever, people that write want to do. I'm not a comedian. I just happen to write funny stuff every now and then, and I post it. That doesn't mean I'm a comedian. It just means I just write funny stuff every now and then. That's just what happens. You know, when you write a lot, funny things tend to come out sometimes. That's what she said. But doesn't mean that you should bash that. In a way, humor is its own art form. It should be protected. You should defend all types of humor. Offensive, whatnot. It doesn't matter. Being offended is a good thing. You know why? Because you're acknowledging it. You have that thing in your mind that listens. It means you listen. Now it's up to you. Do you want to comprehend that? Or do you want to dismiss it? Do you want to dismiss it being ignorant and dismissing it? Humor is something sacred, I think. I think it's its own art form. It's a verbal art form. It's beautiful. And I think that it should be protected, much like music is, much like an artist is. I don't think that people should bash on it. I don't get it. I don't get when someone tells me, I'm offended, you should not say that. Who cares if you're offended? Honestly. Seriously, if you're offended, that's good. That's good that you're offended. Tell me why. Tell me why. In my opinion, I want someone to tell me why they feel offended. You know why? So I can offend them some more. Seriously, I'm not joking. If you tell me why you're offended, I will offend you more. I really don't care. Unless I really care for you. You know, if I care for you, I know when to keep my mouth shut. I'm not an asshole like that. I know when to keep my mouth shut. Plenty of people are like that. Plenty of people that say these offensive things, but they know when to keep their mouth shut. They know when to not say something. But in general, it's there because humor is something that comedians and writers want to exploit. Not for really money. Some do for money, of course. Money just happens to come because they're funny. But they do it because they want to make their message or their opinion or whatever across, and they want you to acknowledge it. And they're not the kind of people that can write a beautifully written thing and that can make you listen that way. Or they're not exactly beautiful looking, whatever, fucking famous. They don't have the money. You know, they're not YouTube famous. They're not this, that. They're just stand-up people. They're regular people that just want to get their opinion across. But they just happen to have a knack for humor, for comedy. And that's honestly what comedy is. I think every good comedy has a true message behind it. I'm not talking about this American comedy bullshit where, you know, fucking Adam Sandler farts or pees in a pool and that shit's hilarious because the pool has, like, this thing that turns blue when you piss in it. That's not really... That's cheap humor. That's just visual humor, you know? That's just one of the things where you can shut off the audio and look at it and it's funny. Which, that's cool and all, I guess. But I'm talking about the power of the word. That is a beautiful thing. The power of the word is beautiful. Written or verbal, it's a beautiful thing. It's started wars, it's ended wars, of course with written and verbal. It's done so many things, and to see people bash on that is dumbfounding to me. How stupid people can be. And look, it's not bad to be stupid. Just acknowledge it and fix that shit. Seriously. If you're offended, that's good. That's good that you're offended. Figure out why. If it's out of bigotry, you have every right to be offended. If it's out of a joke that you just didn't like, that it just made you uncomfortable, maybe you should fix that. Maybe you should acknowledge that and fix it. Be open-minded. Right? Just saying. That's my 2 cents on why, in my opinion, humor is sacred to me. I mean, it's not as a religion type deal. I'm talking about it shouldn't be bashed on. Like for example, artists and musicians, you know, sometimes they make it their fair share of hate, but everyone still has to back that. Well, they're artists. They're expressing. Comedians are expressing too. People who write, they express. People who share their humor express. That's an art form. It's a verbal, written art form. That should also be protected. It should always be, even when you feel offended, in the back of your mind, you should also have that second instinct that says, well, they're just expressing themselves. Whether I feel uncomfortable about that sense of humor, about that little laugh, I feel uncomfortable, but you know what? They're expressing, and more power to them. That's what I think everyone should do. Alright? I'm not talking, like I said, just to reiterate before I end this video, I'm not talking about those people, say like Limbaugh, fucking Beck, those fucking assholes. I'm not talking about those guys who, like, they try to be funny and to put their political agenda across, whatever. I'm talking about people that just point out reality. They're just regular people. Okay? There's nothing wrong with that. And it still amazes me that people bash on that. That being said, that's this video. I'm going to be doing a lot more other videos on this channel. With Tom, of course, I'm not going to just put up videos for the sake of it. I'm not Philly D. That guy just pumps videos out of his ass. That being said, have a good one. Subscribe if you want to hear more, if you like this video. If you disagree with my opinion, please tell me why. Don't be a troll about it. Don't be flaming me. Please, tell me why. I love hearing dissenting opinions. Please, you know, I have my own opinion. This video is my opinion. You have yours. Please share it with me in a readable manner. Please, I really appreciate it. If you agree with me, tell me why. Right? I want to hear like-minded folks. I want to hear people that disagree with me. It helps sharpen me. It helps me hear and see things that I wouldn't otherwise if I didn't have this from a medium. So, that being said, have a good one, guys, and subscribe. And, peace out.